Hi everyone, Digital Golf Doc back with you today for day 5 of the 30-day Golf Mobility Challenge, where you're going to give me 5 minutes a day for the next 30 days and I'll give you the best golf mobility you've ever had. We are going to go into what's known as a cat-cow pose, and we are going to start this by dropping our lower back down into an arch and then rounding it the opposite direction. Now we can add on to this movement by every time we drop, we bring our chest up and aim our eyes up at the ceiling. Every time we round, we go down to look sight right between our legs. And we are going to go back and forth between those two positions. We try and maximize involvement from our pelvis, really driving each direction as far as we can. Now, the reason we do these two movements in the lumbar spine is because the facet joints, which is the anatomy of your lumbar spine, allows mainly flexion and extension and is very limited in rotation. If we want to focus on rotation, we have to go to the thoracic spine above or the hips below the lower back. But if we are focusing on the lower back, then we want to keep it in these two movements. We're going to repeat about another 5 of these before we take it into our next position. Make sure you're maintaining your breath here. You don't want to hold it. You don't want to be getting out of breath. It should be a pretty relaxed movement process. Really just warming up the spine for some more aggressive positions. So next we're going to drop down to our stomachs. Hands in front, and we're going to use our hands to press our chest up, really peel everything away from the ground, and then we'll lower back down. So you might even feel a little bit of strain through your tricep muscles, which is just fine. But we want to make sure our thighs and the front of our hips stay on the ground, that we're maximizing the movement from the pelvis, or from the lower back, stabilizing the pelvis. Again, maintain a calm, relaxed breathing pattern. We're going to press up 2 more times after we finish this repetition. And 1, and 2. Next, in that same position, we're going to float our hands off the ground. We're going to raise our chest up just with the muscles in our lower back, and then we'll lower back down. So even though we're creating the same movement overall, this is a much more active version of the movement. It should hopefully be pretty comfortable after warming the area up. And the best thing about an active movement is we're putting ourselves in that position, so we learn to control it. It's much better for the long-term mobility of our spine to be able to produce active movements instead of passive movements. That's why all these videos focus on driving and ending with movement as opposed to using any straps or props just to maximize overall stretch. Last one. We'll use our hands, we can press up. Tuck our knees under. Sit back on our feet. Round through the lower back as much as we can. Drop down, hands out. And breathe. We're just going to maintain this position for about 30 seconds. You might feel a stretch through these lower back muscles. You might feel kind of a little bit of tug at the top of your glute muscles as well. If it's comfortable, you can bring your arms back to your side where they can stay out front. It's not going to change much in the low back itself, but it will change the position of your lat muscle, which you might feel a little bit of stretch on if your arms are overhead. Let the back just melt down. 2 more deep breaths. Last one. And you can make your way back up. Sit off onto a hip. And that's going to conclude day 5 of the 30-day Golf Mobility Challenge. I will see you all tomorrow for day 6.